If you've ever wondered how to score max marks on any descriptive writing exam, wonder no more, because I'm going to reveal to you the 7 secrets behind descriptive writing exam success. Most English GCSEs and Key Stage 3 language papers have a descriptive writing component. Here's the Cambridge paper. They offer 2 prompts. Describe a familiar place at an unusual time or from a different point of view, or describe what you see, hear and feel as you look up into the night sky as day changes into night. It's a 1 hour long paper and you're expected to write between 350 and 450 words. Here's one from the AQA board. Describe a journey by bus as suggested by this picture. You've 45 minutes to complete the task and they give you an image to work with. What we're going to do is look at a response to this question and then use it to explore the 7 secrets you need to know to score max marks on any descriptive writing exam. The diesel engine thumped. Its giant pistons like fists exploded up and down. Crack, crack, crack. The vibrations travelled along the chassis, up the spine of each passenger and rattled the brain inside their skulls. Thump, thump, thump. No peace, no serenity. The bus shook and shuddered to the beat of the macabre death dance. Windows rattled, doors quaked, seats trembled. This was a journey through hell. 10 rounds with the super heavyweight champion of the world. No peace, no serenity. To the left, neon signs blazed with logos and slogans of fast food restaurants. These fluorescent bully boys screamed, "Finger licking good," and assaulted passerbys with their garish colours and 3-word jingles. "I'm loving it," yelled the yellow neon lights above the images of cheeseburgers oozing with ketchup and calories. To the right, billboards like hustlers winked in the deep blue hues of the bank. "Chase your dreams at 20% APR," they whispered, and flashed their smiles like sharks in a tank. Photoshopped dogs, homes and happy families with white teeth shone above the simple slogan, "Banking your way." No peace, no serenity, just the thump, thump, thump of the diesel engine as its pistons like giant fists exploded up and down. The lights changed from red to green. A swarm of pedestrians, individual consumer units, raced to the pavement before the cars and bikes took off again. They scurried past shop windows with their lurid displays, past blaring advertising boards, past each other. Heads down. They were detached, alone, no connection. The jingle on the bus started up as the monster edged its way along the street. "Welcome to the House of Horrors," a ghoulish voice laughed. "A scare tour for you and your family. Maggots, murder and morbidity. 10% discount for children under 5. Buy a bundle with Madame Tussauds. £50 per person, not for the faint-hearted." The piercing yell of a ghoul escaped through the speakers and echoed along the bus and into the heart of every passenger. Red letters rolled across the LED display board. Oxford Street. Next stop, London, consumer capital of the world. No peace, no serenity. Tip 1. Have a big idea to communicate. This is incredibly important. It will run through all of your paragraphs and unify them to create a sense of cohesion in your writing. When I looked at the picture, a couple of things stood out for me. The first thing was the look of despair and isolation on the faces of the passengers. And the second thing was the bright neon lights from the shop windows, the slogans and the logos along the street. The lights are also reflected in the bus window. It seemed like there was no escape from them. So that gave me my big idea, a journey through consumer hell, and linked to tip 2. Create a mood. The mood is important because it works on an emotional level with your reader. It's the feeling your text is trying to create. Here, there's a feeling of isolation and a mood of desperation. When I looked at the woman's face in the foreground of the picture, it seemed like she had her fingers stuck in her ears, blocking out the sound. And the face of the woman across the aisle is unsmiling, almost hard. Also, the people on the street behind are all walking alone, isolated, not communicating. That's how I arrived at the mood of isolation and desperation. Even if you're not given a picture to work with, you've still got to come up with a big idea and a mood to convey. It unifies your writing and gives it a sense of purpose. Now, I'm not discussing the planning stage because I'll cover that in a separate short video, but depending on the length of the exam, you're advised to spend 10 to 15 minutes planning your answer. That is, organising the words that you are going to convey your big picture and your mood with. So let's get on to tip 3. Use descriptive devices to convey your big idea and mood. It's a descriptive writing exam. To score max marks, you're going to have to use descriptive writing devices. That's metaphors, similes, personification, alliteration, onomatopoeia, repetition. You know the drill. So let's look at how I use them in these paragraphs. The excerpt begins with the simile, billboards, like hustlers. Hustlers are aggressive confidence tricksters out to get your money. The simile fits with my idea of consumer hell. I then state that the billboards winked and whispered, personifying them and adding to the hustler imagery. I use a second simile, flash their smiles like sharks in a tank. Again, sharks are like hustlers and are frequently used to describe untrustworthy, unscrupulous businessmen. I use a list of 3 for the advert: Photoshop dogs, homes and happy families with white teeth. I'm trying to convey a sense of falseness. The dogs are photoshopped, the family's teeth too white. We cannot trust these adverts. The slogan itself, chase your dreams, doesn't state you will catch your dreams, and the cost of 20% APR is just ridiculously expensive. I continue the big idea of a journey through consumer hell in the second paragraph. Pedestrians are called individual consumer units. This label dehumanizes them. It suggests their only function is to purchase products. The shop windows have lurid displays. The advertising is blaring. I won't go into the whole extract, but you can see on almost every line I'm using a descriptive device to convey my big idea. You need to do that too. I've also used descriptive devices to convey the mood of desperation. I've underlined some of those in blue. I repeat the short sentences, no peace, no serenity, and I describe pedestrians as walking heads down. They were detached, alone, no connection. The description of the body language, the use of words like detached, alone, no connection, and the short sentences convey the isolation and despair. Towards the end of the penultimate paragraph, I write, the piercing yell of a ghoul escaped through the speakers and echoed along the bus into the heart of every passenger. There's no escape from this advertising. The ghoulish yell penetrates their soul, penetrates their heart, creating a mood of despair. So tip 3, use the abundance of descriptive devices to convey your mood. Tip 4, paragraph for effect. The big idea and mood work across the whole text. The next level down is paragraph. You've got to show you can paragraph for effect. It's simple, but you've still got to do it. In this example, I've contrasted the really short paragraph at the end, no peace, no serenity, which acts as a refrain, with the longer paragraph that precedes it. The longer paragraph demonstrates my ability to sustain description. In this case, it's the ghoulish advert that plays as the bus creeps along the street. The contrast says to the examiner, hey, I'm on top of my paragraph game. So tip 4, paragraph for effect. Tip 5, use a wide range of sentence structures for effect. Well, what on earth does that mean? It means you've got to show you're in control of your sentences and you can use a wide range of sentence structures. Let's take a look. The extract ends with 2 minor sentences. That is, sentences without a verb. No peace, no serenity. They act as a refrain. They sum up the mood of the extract, and because they're short, they're punchy and powerful. They have an impact on the reader. In contrast to those short sentences, I'm also showing the examiner I can handle tricky, complex sentences. Check this one out. A swarm of pedestrians, individual consumer units, race to the pavement before the cars and bikes took off again. A swarm of pedestrians is the subject, followed by an additional noun phrase, individual consumer units, wrapped in commas to show I know it's extra information. And then the verb, raced, followed by the preposition phrase, to the pavement, to show where they were racing to. This is followed by a subordinating conjunction before that introduces the next clause, before cars and bikes took off again. Now you don't need to know the technical terms, but you do need to demonstrate you can handle a range of sentence structures. Let's do one more. The jingle on the bus started up as the monster edged its way along the street. Again, I've used a complex sentence. The main clause is the jingle on the bus started up, followed by a subordinating clause with the conjunction as the monster edged its way along the street. So tip 5, you've got to show the examiner you can handle a range of sentence structures, some short punchy ones for dramatic effect and some longer ones for detail. Tip 6, use ambitious vocabulary and accurate spelling. Ambitious vocabulary doesn't mean use the longest word that you know. It means choose the words with the most impact. Let's take a look. In this extract, none of the words are particularly difficult, but they do have impact. I've used lurid to describe displays. Lurid means vulgar, coarse, vivid. It's the right word to describe my consumer hell. Furthermore, I've coupled it with garish from a previous paragraph, which means obtrusively bright. These are high impact words. Similarly, in a list of 3, I used morbidity, not just for its alliterative value, but it's for its connotations with disease and interest in death. When you're considering your word choice, you need to take into account the sound of the word, the connotation of the word, and the denotation of the word. So, all that brings us to tip 7. Use a wide range of punctuation. Let's take a look at how you can do this. At the end of the first paragraph, I've used a simile, like giant fists, and wrapped it in a pair of commas. That's because I know the simile is additional information that can be removed from the sentence, and the pair of commas indicates to the examiner, I know that. I've done the same thing at the start of the next paragraph. Individual consumer units. It's an additional noun phrase used to define the pedestrian. It isn't required in the sentence, and so I've wrapped it in commas too. It's like saying to the examiner, yeah, I'm on top of my comma game. Towards the end of the extract, I've quotation marks. I made sure I have a punctuation mark before I open the quotation marks, and again before I close them. I'm letting the examiner know I can use quotation marks accurately. And finally, for this example, inside the quotation marks, I've used a colon. London, consumer capital of the world. The colon introduces a definition. I'm showing the examiner I can use a wide range of punctuation. With regards to colons and semicolons, 1 or 2 will do. There's no need to overuse them, just show the examiner that you can use them. Oh dear. So let's have a quick recap on how to pass any descriptive writing exam. Have a big idea and mood you wish to convey. Use descriptive devices to convey it. Write accurately. Paragraph for effect. Use a range of sentence structures. Use ambitious vocabulary. Show you can punctuate with style. Good luck.